Welcome to Sakshi TV's Immigration Talk Show with Attorney. I am Preeti Mulbagal, your host for the show. Our today's guest is a very well-known, multifaceted, accomplished international attorney who studied law in India, Australia, England, and United States, catering to a diversified clientele across the globe. Kaveti Law Firm has over 18 offices around the world and is now opening a new branch in Chennai in partnership with Sai Lakshmi IPR and Trademark Consultants, and also opening another branch in Dubai in August 2025. Congratulations. Dr. Kaveti, welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thank you.
And there are more congratulations coming your way, sir. I would like to let our audience know about your latest accomplishments. Dear viewers, Dr. Srinivas Kaveti has been honored with the Nelson Mandela Excellence Award in Oxford University, and Oxford Mayor has conferred it. That's number one. And the second one is he was given Indian Overseas Prize in the Capitol Hill, Washington, D.C. And the third one being he is appointed as a legal advisor for Global Confederation for Promotion and Development and is recognized non-governmental organization with United Nations Economic Social Council. Hearty congratulations on all these accomplishments, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So our today's topic, as you know, is about NTA, what we call it as Notice to Appear. So we are here to talk on this important topic in US immigration law. Many people panic when we receive one. So in understanding this, we would seek our Dr. Kaveti's help in guiding us through the topic and this complex subject. So Dr. Kaveti, could you throw us some light on what is notice to appear, and could you explain and what happens when someone receives it?
Okay. First of all, thanks for congratulating me for all those awards, and we're looking forward to serve the community at large. Notice to appear. See, one must understand immigration law is actually an administrative law. In laws, there are types of laws. One is a criminal law. Most of us, we hear civil law, corporate law, constitutional law, and administrative law. Administrative law is not a criminal law. It is law pertaining to the bureaucracy or executive branch. And see, the immigration law is an administrative law. Somebody violates the administrative law, what is the punishment? The punishment is because you violated the immigration law, administrative law. There are very rare, you have criminal convictions. That means if you commit a fraud or something, misrepresentation, or you have assisted some people to migrate to this side of the world, human trafficking, those type of offenses, wrongdoings, you have a criminal prosecution. But most of the times, because you breach the law, they want to, you violated the law. They want to revoke your visa and send you back. There are two types of sending you back. Sometimes, we voluntarily leave the country, and sometimes they force you to leave the country. That means the government forces you back to leave the country. So what will happen for the immigration officer? See, we must understand there are two agencies. One is the Department of State, where the consulates are governed by, where you get a visa. Visa is a label which allows you to come into the country. And two, the immigration department is there, where your visa is there. It is being revoked by the Department of State. But once you violated the terms and conditions of your stay in the country, by law, an immigration officer cannot throw you out of the country. That means they will produce you before the judge, immigration judge. That is called notice, which is under the procedural due process and substantial due process under the Constitution of America. Or if you see even in England or in India, there is a principles of natural justice. There are two types of procedural due process. What is a due process means? The government, before they takes any decision, they have to give you a notice and they have to give you a hearing. So what is a notice and hearing? So the notice, as we rightly said, it's called notice to appear, which is NTA, notice to appear. You're supposed to appear before the judge. And which judge? Is it a criminal law judge or a civil law or an administrative law judge, immigration law judge? So the basically immigration is giving any person who has violated the immigration law to appear before the judge. That is called notice to appear in a simple sense. NTA means notice to appear. Appear before whom? There is a time is given, there's a place is given, the judge, the name is given, everything is given. So there, that notice is coming to them, any violator of immigration to come and appear before the judge. That is
Okay,
called notice to appear.
that is very clear, sir. And what kind of information is usually included in an NTA?
The name of the individual and when you came into the country and what law, what section of immigration you have violated. Let us say somebody comes on a visit visa. I mean, even though they have 10 years of visa, they enter into the country, the port of entry officers, sometimes they give you 3 months or 6 months of entry. That means you can stay in the country for 3 months or 6 months. And once you come and you overstay, you go and overstay that time. So that means you violated the immigration law. When you violated the immigration law, the immigration wants to get you out of the country. So they will receive a notice to appear. Say, hey, you have overstayed your stay in the country, then thereby you are a removable alien. Every time, even for the permanent resident, for the green card, or also if you see the green card, it is called a resident alien. Alien means Pardesi. That means you're a foreigner. Of course, you have given permission to stay in the country as a resident. You can
Mhm.
stay, unlimited time. So if you're coming as a non-immigrant or a non-resident, you're supposed to go back, but you did not go. So you stayed in the country, you violated the law. That means you're a removable alien. That means either they will remove you forcefully or you have to go by yourself voluntarily. So the information is given what section of law you violated when you came into the country, your name of the person, they will allocate an alien number, and they will tell you where to come, when to come, what time to come, everything. Those type of information is there in that notice.
And how should someone read and understand the charges or the allegations listed in this NTA?
It is in simple in English, and of course the section of law is given in that. I mean, you can even Google and you can get the information. And it's better to contact a qualified immigration attorney to understand that, number one. And number two, it also gives you certain names and numbers. There is some information given, that what are your rights and everything. Of course, you have certain rights. I mean, you have a right to be represented by an attorney. The Constitution says that. The immigration law says that you have a right to be represented by an immigration attorney. And do you have any defenses? Let's say if you got married to an American citizen, or if you have a working permit pending, or you filed an extension application, or you intend to go and study, your change of application, status application is there, so on and so forth. All those things are there.
So
So
when
those information is there.
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
And the other thing is, once you appear, I mean, you have to have a qualified lawyer representing you. You can also make an application. Sometimes people have some political threats, so they might file a political asylum application. Or somebody might have got married to a US citizen. they have children, or somebody H1 is pending, or somebody's L1 is pending, somebody's other change of status application is pending. So you can file a remedy. You can also file a withholding of removal, or you can also file a motions. Motion is nothing but petitions. You can also file a political asylum application. There are those whole heap of remedies. For example, your parents are there, they filed a petition for you, or your children are there, they filed a green card petition for you. All those things, you can disclose it to the court, and the court will take a appropriate remedy.
Okay. So when someone is served with an NTA, what are the very first immediate steps that they should take to protect their rights?
The first thing is they should contact immigration attorneys, and sometimes there are some free legal aid attorneys are there. Not legal aid, I would say. There are some Catholic organizations, non-profit organizations. They also have some lawyers who give some pro bono work. They will give you basic information. If you don't have money, if you're insolvent, or if you're a bankrupt, you don't have no money, you're disabled, you're medically sick. There's so many circumstances. Sometimes these nonprofit agencies will provide you with attorneys help, but most of the times you might not be qualified, so you have to have a private attorney to represent you. I mean, we have what I strongly urge is they have to look for attorneys who specialize in immigration litigation, not somebody who does H-1B visas, not who does labor certifications or corporate immigration, or not somebody who does F1s and change of status. You have to look for attorneys who does immigration litigation. Those people you have to hire, and they will advise you, they will represent you, and you have to be in the court of law on the day, particular day. You cannot avoid. If you don't go, then the judges might take decisions as again in absentia. They might even order deportation or removal forcefully. I mean, it's a risky thing, so you'll have to be on the top of the game.
Okay, okay. So what does it mean if an NTA does not list a court date or a location? Does that impact the case?
Right. The NTA would definitely say there's an alien number, and you can call the immigration court. The immigration court will have an automatic system. It will tell you if that is missing information in NTA. And you can also contact some lawyers. They can also assist you in getting the date. Sometimes they won't schedule your date. Sometimes they'll say, okay, you're supposed to appear. But sometimes, as you rightly asked the question, the judge is not assigned, the date is not assigned, the time is not assigned. You'll have to get in touch with the immigration courts. There is a 1-800 number. You can find out in Google, immigration court information portal. You can also call the number for free. And if you enter the alien number, it will tell you your name and your date of birth, and it will verify everything. They will also give you information, automatic information.
Okay, okay. So could you walk us through the legal process that follows after receiving an NTA and what to expect at the first hearing?
Most of the times, there are two types of hearings. One is called individual calendar hearing, and second is called master hearing. See, master hearing means a lot of litigants, just like the guy who received or the woman who received, they're all in the courtroom. And, the judge looks at it. Well, first time when you go, you might not have a lawyer. You might tell the judge, Your Honor, I would like to hire a lawyer. And the judge gives you a time. The first appearance, the judge gives you have a right to get some adjournment. And when you go to the second time, the judge will say, have you hired an attorney? If you did, then if you're going with an attorney, the judge will ask, okay, counsel, can you file a memo of appearance? That means you're appearing on his behalf. Once the judge, takes that memo of appearance, and the judge will say, okay, I will give it time again to the lawyer, because the lawyer will be given some time to prepare the case. What exactly he wants to file a relief, whether he wants to file asylum, whether he wants to file a green card petition, whether he wants to file any motion for removal of, cancellation of removal, and so on and so forth. The lawyers make a strategy and work with the clients so that they get an opportunity. And most of the times, the judges do give opportunities and they get another date, court date. And sometimes, there are some, that's called master hearing. And when the judge wants to hear the case, let's say in the meantime, the guy's got married or the guy wants to file, the attorney wants to file an asylum, and you want to file a work authorization petition, you have to file everything before the judge and serves a notice on the prosecution. And now you're before the judge and judge makes a decision. And these days, during the present government administration, anybody who's going to the immigration court, those who are removable aliens, one has to be very careful because ICE is arresting them at that and they are deporting them. So one has to be very, very careful when they
Mhm.
get an NTA. And, our firm has been getting calls saying that anybody who's filing change of status or anybody who's overstayed or after 60 days of their employment and when their H1 is revoked, of course, they can get an NTA. So sometimes the most important thing is sometimes clients or individuals don't inform the immigration once you change your address. You have to inform the immigration, fill up an AR11 form online that you
Mhm.
change the address. Sometimes you get notices to the last known address. You don't inform the new address. What will
Mhm.
happen? They might send some notices to your old address and you don't appear before the immigration or before the judge. The judge might do an in absentia order, or even immigration might make some decisions. So you have to inform the immigration about your latest addresses. Because most of the time, students, when they come in, they give certain address and they do change. Tomorrow they get some H1s or they get OPTs, they get some job, and though they normally they change addresses. If they don't inform the immigration about your addresses, that is also a violation. So you have to
Mhm.
be on the top of the game.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. And sir, I understand that you mentioned the types of attorneys that the person needs to contact, not H1B, not immigration. So, based on that, how important it actually is to have legal representation at the earlier stage after receiving an NTA, and what risks do people face if they go unrepresented?
Right. Because you are a removable alien. Let's say tomorrow, if you did not go to the court or if you did not retain a counsel, tomorrow you are stopped at the airport. Sorry, if you're stopped at any train station or a bus station, or tomorrow even you're jaywalking, and tomorrow you're doing some sort of small violation, you could be picked up by the immigration and they put you in a jail. You could be removed from the country. So if you have a counsel, at least they can protect your interest. So that's very, very important to have a counsel and keep in touch with your attorney and let them know your address where you're staying. Give your phone number. And if anybody stops you, detains you, say that, hey, please talk to my lawyer because you have a right of counsel in this country. It's called Miranda rights. Even somebody stops you at a stop sign, or somebody stops you when you're doing a jaywalking. Somebody stops you at airport or train station or a bus station. Anywhere if they ask you, stop you for your identification. So you need to have that have a counsel on record so that they can represent you, they can talk about you. If any police officer asks you, hey, can you talk to my lawyer if they're asking you about your immigration status? So the lawyer can answer you on your behalf. So those things are very, very important. So a lot of times people they go on Google, talk to their friends, talk to some relatives, do some chat GPT. Those things are not going to protect your interests. So have an immigration attorney, qualified guy. Those who do only immigration practice, and they might do even some criminal practice as well. It will have an added advantage if you have somebody who does criminal law and immigration law.
So this kind of self due diligence you wouldn't suggest. So can these be considered as the common mistakes or misconceptions that people have when they receive a notice to appear? Could you throw
Yes,
some more light on that, please?
right. Most of the times, what happens, it is a serious thing notice which you got from the immigration court. So the moment you get that, get in touch with some lawyers, try to understand your remedies. People have different remedies. It's not that because you received an NTA, they will throw you out of the country, but you have some reliefs and get some reliefs and talk to the lawyers, and they will protect your interest. That's number one. Number two, don't neglect. Keep the government, keep the immigration court and the immigration and your lawyer informed about your address, and let your lawyer know if you have any criminal cases as against you. Let your lawyer know whether anybody files any petition. Are there pending before the immigration? Are there any petitions pending in, with immigration department? Let them know that whether you file any change of status application. Sometimes, husbands are there, wives get some papers like that, or wives are there, husbands have filed some change of status. Sometimes wives have got filed an H1 and husband's wife H4 is pending. Things like that. Even children F2, if the husband is on F1 and wife is on F2, things like that. Let the lawyer come to know all of that. So then
Mhm.
they can file papers before the judge and get the case dismissed. Or sometimes you moved, let's say this, you got an NTA in California, but because of your wife or because of your family, for some reasons you moved to New York. So let the lawyer know, let the lawyers in New York file a change of venue. So there are so many complex issues. Get in touch with them and they will advise you. And don't consider this as a legal advice, what I'm talking, just only for the information purposes, but have some qualified guy and represent you guys. So that's what my, suggestion would be. So, and if you avoid neglect, they could pass orders as against you in absentia. And tomorrow, if there's a deportation order, a removal order, it is very difficult and unlikely for reopening those cases. And there is a statute of limitation also. Within 90 days, 60 days, you have to file a reopening. If you don't do it within certain period of time, under the statute of limitation, you cannot reopen the case. So nobody can do anything. So it's a very, very time sensitive. So one
Okay.
has to take this very seriously and
Mhm.
work with lawyers, work with the court, work with immigration. And if tomorrow sometime they arrest you, they release you on your personal recognizance, the judges or
Mhm.
the immigration officers. They released you on a bail bond. So they have a conditions, fulfill those conditions. And if you don't do it, they could even come after you with a warrant, non-bailable warrant. So they could arrest you anytime. The judge, immigration judges cannot they also have a right to issue a non-bailable warrant. So it's a very serious thing. It's
Mhm.
a immigration litigation, and one has to be on the top of it. I mean, of
Mhm.
course, the moment they get an NTA doesn't mean that they arrest you and throw you out of the country, but there are certain reliefs. You have
Got
to,
it.
pursue those reliefs.
Mhm. So what happens if they miss their immigration court hearing?
Sometimes people do miss court hearings because they're sick in the hospital, or sometimes they had an accident, or they had some other issues in the family, emergency. You're with your family, somebody died, or somebody had an accident, you're with them in the emergency hospital. There's so many things happens. Let the lawyers know, let the court know that, or sometimes you missed the notice, you lost it, you moved from one place to another place, and sometimes you misplaced it. Many things can happen in life. Sometimes you even forgot legitimate reasons. See, some people who have, dementia, some people who have memory problem, they could even miss the dates. Let the court know that. Let the lawyer know that. Let them file a petition saying that, my client is in the hospital. Or sometimes even lawyers could not make it because they're in some other city appearing in other cases. They could
Mhm.
not come to the court. So you have to go to the court and say, hey, my lawyer is in another court, he's in another state, or he's sick. Can you please give us a date? So, but you have to be on the top of the game. So there are many times people are in the hospital. So take some medical certificate and go to the court, or let your lawyer know that he's not able to come. His family is in emergency. So that the lawyers can go to the court and get the date. So, those things are very crucial. So these things you have to be on the top of it.
So it's very important to keep a clear communication in order to not get into these issues.
Yeah. Don't miss the court dates. And sometimes, you decide to go home by yourself. You say, okay, to the judge, yes, judge, I have violated the law. I don't want to be forcibly removed. I would like to voluntarily go. I will buy my ticket. Please give me a
Hmm.
date. I will go back. Sometimes
Okay.
the judges, they will also give you a voluntary departure. If you go voluntarily, there is no remark on your travel and everything.
Hmm.
Sometimes they'll say, okay, we'll give you a passport at the airport, get you a ticket, go home. That's fine. Sometimes you voluntarily leave. Sometimes you say, "Oh, I don't want to leave." Then you might be arrested, detained in the jail, and the government will also buy a ticket for you to go home. So there are many remedies available for the clients.
Okay.
Every case is different.
Okay. And then finally, what advice would you give to somebody watching today who either has received an NTA or is worried about possibility of receiving one?
Okay. When anybody receives NTA, um, try and get in with touch with the lawyers and speak to them about your remedies, and don't be silent. And when you really want to go home also, sometimes you could be detained at the airport also, if you're trying to flee away. Don't do that. And if NTA comes, don't get scared. Get in touch with some qualified immigration lawyers, those who do immigration litigation. Get some proper legal advice. And if you want to go home, the immigration lawyers can even contact the immigration office and they say, hey, our client voluntarily wants to depart. Can you guys cooperate? So he wants to go. So you might want to talk to the immigration offices and when you're leaving so that they'll not detain you. So if you want to pursue any of the remedies, then file the applications. I have a lawyer, so let him file some application with the court. Let the court know. Let the process takes its own course. And sometimes you want to change the cities. If you're change the cities, change of venue, and let the lawyers do their work. They will file certain motions. If you want to file any, change the dates, change the place, all of that. So keep on the top of it. Be on the top of the game. Don't get panicky. I mean, they're not going to arrest you next day morning, come to your house and arrest you. So there's a legal course, procedural due process, substantive due process, and protect your interest. But just don't go because you got an NTA. Don't buy a ticket and go home because at the port of entry, at the airport, they might detain you. So don't do that.
Okay.
Even F1 students, H1 or anybody.
Mm. That was very informative and a very useful information that you've given us and the viewers, Dr. Kaveti. Thank you so much for your time and for the valuable information you've shared with us. And hearty congratulations once again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.